Hello, Mr. Milan Rai, and thank you very much indeed for joining us in this program.
Thank you for inviting me.
The U.S. assassination drones have claimed so many innocent lives during their operations in different countries. The U.S. has made use of its assassination drones in several Asian and African countries to eliminate the people whom it labels al-Qaeda terrorists. Why is this matter referred to by American officials as collateral damages?
Well, U.S. officials and British officials try to avoid the legal and moral responsibility for what they're doing. And Britain is also developing a drone capacity so that very soon there will be pilots sitting in British bases in Britain piloting drones in Afghanistan to kill people. And I think that what the U.S. and the British forces have been trying to do for a long time is they've been trying to reduce the risks that British and U.S. soldiers and pilots face while still wanting the capacity to kill people in other countries where they haven't been invited and where what they're doing is opposed by the governments of those countries, like Pakistan. And I think that the drone policy is one that ought to be outlawed. Well, there shouldn't be a right to use military drones to go to another country and assassinate someone and also kill a lot of civilians as well.
The use of drones in sovereign nations is against international law. Why does the world remain silent? And I am speaking about the real-world activities, real-world actions to stop these drone attacks, silent in that sense.
Well, I think there ought to be more action by the international community. There ought to be more action at the United Nations to stop this from happening. I think that one of the things that has happened, unfortunately, is that after the attacks of the 11th of September 2001, there was quite rightly a lot of people, a lot of countries felt a lot of sympathy for the United States for this attack, and a lot of people felt a lot of hatred for al-Qaeda for killing thousands of innocent people in that way. And there was a demonization of al-Qaeda, which meant that there is a willingness among a lot of people and a lot of countries to allow Western governments to do what they like if they can say they are attacking al-Qaeda or killing al-Qaeda leaders. And so there is some kind of permission given because it is against such a terrible enemy. But we all know that laws are there to keep our behavior within decent limits, regardless of who the behavior is towards. And just because it is allegedly against an al-Qaeda target doesn't mean that it's legal to send a weapon, a missile, off to another country and to attack some target, some civilian house or some marketplace or whatever. If you say that you're trying to kill a particular leader of a particular organization, it's absolutely right that people who carry out attacks like the 11th of September 2001 should be put on trial for what they've done. And I think people who carry out attacks like the invasion of Iraq in 2003 ought to be put on trial for what they've done. That's the right way of dealing with things. The right way is not to go and blow them up with a missile attack guided by someone thousands of miles away.
Is it also because there exists no viable path to hold the U.S. accountable, or maybe a lack of political will on the part of many members of the international community?
Well, I think the power of the United States militarily and diplomatically has declined over the last 50, 60 years. I mean, after the Second World War, the U.S. was just super dominant. And now they don't have the freedom of action that they used to do. But the other countries the other powerful countries who might be able to restrain the United States, very often, like Britain, like Russia, like France, like China, they want to preserve a similar freedom of action in their own areas. And so it all becomes a game of trading favors and pressures while dealing with the one military superpower. So you're right. There isn't enough action. There isn't enough political will to restrain the United States. But at the same time, many of these countries, certainly Britain, where I live, are also seeking these kinds of capabilities.
Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us in this program, Mr. Milan Rai.
Thank you very much.